Okay, Rich Van Tassel back with you folks. Final segment we are doing today, looking at the NBA Six Man of the Year race. Now, there's a few players who could be mentioned, don't want to ignore them, but they come from losing teams. That's Victor Oladipo of the Orlando Magic and Will Barton of the Denver Nuggets. Now, this isn't a case where I eliminate players from losing teams because of the MVP like talk of how valuable you can be on a losing team. I look at it, especially in a six-man race, when you have guys coming off the bench. I think they can inflate their numbers for a team that is not winning, as opposed to teams that are winning. So the three players we're looking at are Jeremy Lin of the Charlotte Hornets, Enes Kanter of the Oklahoma City Thunder, and Evan Turner of the Boston Celtics. Now, starting with Jeremy Lin, 11.8 points per game, 2.9 assists, 3.1 rebounds per game. He is only shooting 41, not quite 42% from the field and just under 34% from the 3 point line. So there's a lot of love for Jeremy Lin, but frankly, I am just not seeing it now. As far as Enes Kanter, we will get right now. And Cantor is actually a guy I have always liked. I think he's very athletic for a 6'11 guy. He's at 12.4 points per game, 7.8 rebounds per game. Doesn't quite get a block. He is averaging 20.7 minutes, so his numbers are very impressive for the numbers he has. Shooting close to 60% from the field and 40% from 3 point land, but I like to see how many threes he's taken to bolster those numbers. He's playing on a very good team, and frankly, I think he might be outplaying Serge Ibaka at this point in their career. Ibaka maybe a bit more on the defensive end, a guy who can stretch the floor on the offensive end a bit more, but Enes Kanter's certainly having a good season. So, going to break it down now, Evan Turner. And before we get started, obviously I am a Celtics fan. I like Evan Turner. He's probably my favorite player on the team. So just want to throw that out there. Evan Turner, 10.2 points per game, 4.5 assists, 4.9 rebounds. Now, he has started a few games this year. I'm going to see how many exactly he has started. Was a starter early on in the year. Again, I had projected Isaiah Thomas to win Six Man of the Year earlier in the year, but he kind of got forced into the starting lineup and Turner was out. Now, Turner's only started 8 games, and some of those are coming late. Now, since we have Evan Turner, we'll start going into the case for them. Now, what makes Evan Turner very interesting is he's done what I think a true reserve is meant to do, and he's shown that in the season. Following the injury to Jay Crowder, a guy who's been very important to the Celtics this year, Evan Turner has now stepped up, and he is playing very well in his absence. Over the last 5 games, averaging 13.2 points, 4.8 rebounds, 4 assists. Over the past 10 games, 12.5 points, 5.5 rebounds, and 4.8 in the assist department. So, a guy who's come in, been pressed into the starting lineup, has certainly done the job and has shown that here. And he puts up some serious numbers when you look at it, considering he only plays, or he's under 30 minutes at 27.6. That 4.8 in the assist department is quite high. And while he is 6'7", he's more of a point guard. They have him listed as a shooting guard. He's just kind of a point guy. That's what he does. He runs the offense. I don't really put him in a position because of his height. But those assists at 4.5 for the season, really not bad in 27 minutes of work. Isaiah Thomas, the starting point guard, is only at about 6. 4.9 rebounds, not bad at all. Now, Jeremy Lin is a guy I would not have for it. Again, we talked about Jeremy Lin shooting. It's really not that great. He only has 2.9 assists per game, and he is a point guard. Now, he does play behind Kemba Walker, and they certainly need offense to supplement when Kemba Walker, who is their best offensive player, comes out. But the 2.9 assists per game is just not good enough, in my opinion, for Jeremy Lin to be considered. So we're going to eliminate Jeremy Lin and put it up between Evan Turner and Enes Kanter, and between those two, when my vote will be cast at the end of the year, as of right now, I'm going to give it to Enes Kanter. You look at a guy who's a backup center. I mean, 12.4 points and 7.8 rebounds is really what's most impressive. I mean, you would take those numbers from your starting center, and he's been able to put them up being the backup center. Now, see how many games he started this. Yeah, he has not started one single game. Now, where Evan Turner has the edge is he's been able to come in and show what a true reserve player is meant to do, and that's be ready when started upon. That's Evan Turner, the best asset he has to winning this award. But to me, the numbers are just too much in favor of Enes Kanter, especially in the minutes he's played. Considering Evan Turner gets a few more minutes, has a much more important role, especially on the offensive side of the ball for the Celtics. So, between those three, as of right now, Jeremy Lin, Evan Turner, and Enes Kanter. Enes Kanter, I would have project winning it. Again, there's a few games left, and you don't know how the votes will go. Certainly, my vote really only counts for my YouTube channel, but as of right now, Enes Kanter would be the one. And again, the guys like Will Barton, Victor Oladipo, I look at players on teams that aren't that good. They're not terrible teams. Again, Orlando has improved, and the Denver Nuggets are certainly, being competitive this season. Though they're 30-42, they've played well. They've shown some improvement as well. But when you're talking about reserve players on teams that aren't that good, I just look at it as it's a chance for them to inflate their numbers, and I believe they've been able to do so. All right, so that's it for me today. Remember to subscribe. Tell your friends, anyone who's interested in basketball or any sports for that matter, or any of the flash news alerts we do. We really appreciate those. Anything else that comes across the wire over the weekend, we'll probably do it. Again, have a happy Easter, and we will most likely see you come next Monday or Tuesday when we do the weekly NBA report. Don't want to do much over the Easter holiday, so unless there's something that is really important that comes across the news wire, will probably be dark, for lack of a better term, come this weekend. So thank you all so much. Again, happy Easter, and we'll be sure to see you again.